All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is none other than my co-host, Avira.
Ow! Hey guys. Wow, I hope you had a fantastic holiday weekend. Halloween is literally my favorite holiday, so. Oh yeah.
Did you? Are you actually being a talking candy corn? You didn't have to bring a basket of candy corn because you are a candy corn.
Yeah, kinda. It's pretty funny. I actually got my fursuit on Halloween, way back in like 2016. And yeah, it's just like my day, man. So I hope that everyone had a very fun, very safe Halloween, and you got a crap ton of candy. Oh yeah.
Well, I only got one group of trick or treaters knock on my doorstep, so I basically am now sitting on an excess pile of chocolates.
Well, lucky you.
Well, I just pass it around to my workmates, so waste not, want not.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But hey, you in the meantime, you went to dress up competitions at work.
I
Stuff.
did, yeah. Yeah, I went to my job. So it wasn't just on Halloween day, it was like the entire weekend. So on the first day, I went in, one of my coworkers dressed up as like a cow. She had like this onesie, like pajama or whatever. Somebody else actually dressed up as a zombie, and they had like this face paint makeup, and she looked really creepy. But I went in there with my fursuit, and come on. I mean, a fursuit's not a costume. I totally won. And they were like, "What the heck?" And of course, being candy corn themed, obviously, like that was crazy.
Nice. Well, but everyone does their own Halloween in their own way, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, joining us on the show, as always, my interim host, Noble.
It's at least morning here and the sun's out. Whoops.
It's been an odd weather week down here, as it always is. Never stops. Like, it just never stops. But hey, at least on the plus side, I got humid, relief from humid. And if you're like us in Halloween here in Australia,
You don't celebrate it.
yeah, this is Australia, not America.
Oh
Fuck off
goodness.
with your Halloween shit, you little cunts.
Oh come on now. Really?
Oh, I love it.
Well, we say it like it is.
When in Rome.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we do it here. Joining us on the show after a long time, we have Stifier.
Back again from the grave.
I thought you'd
It
be
is-
excited to be back from the grave at
Oh,
least time
yes.
after Halloween.
Exactly. It's been my time to be out killing things without getting in trouble.
Well, and
Because-
also being undead yourself. I mean, that's cool.
Exactly. It is my time of the year.
Oh, I feel you there.
Halloween
get
is so much
any-
better than Christmas.
Did you get any of those trick or treaters knock on your doorstep?
Oh, I think we have like barely any. It doesn't happen around here much anymore, and I just ignore the door anyway because I don't like kids. Can't stand the fuckers.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine it being much of a thing around Europe because
Oh, it
most
used to
people-
be.
Yeah, but most people just live in these apartment blocks and that.
So in England, like where I grew up, so it was everywhere. I used to love going out trick or treating as a kid, but then when I moved, or even then, just before I moved, it's slowly been dying off in England.
Oh, where'd you move to?
Oh, just
Are you still out of Europe?
yeah, I'm just further up north in England.
Oh, okay. So that's I mean, you're literally in the same country.
Yeah,
But Do they
country.
not have like Halloween celebrations? Like, do people not put out pumpkins and
Oh yeah,
crazy stuff like that?
it still goes on. Like,
Okay.
but Halloween here slowly, it's actually turning into more of like adults celebrating, drinking, having the parties than it is about the trick or treating now.
Well, if you're an adult, I mean, yeah, that does make sense.
Well, yeah, but it's like that's kind of what I prefer about Halloween is to enjoy the horror, the gore, not kids dressing up getting fucking candy.
Yeah. Well, we used to call it Mischief Night, where basically when I was, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 11 years old, me and my friends would like, we had the cans of silly string and like eggs and toilet paper and stuff like that, and we would just go around just destroying the entire neighborhood.
See, I'm certain it
Do
was
you have
either
that
the
there?
day before or the day after, but I'm certain it was the 30th. If I might be wrong, but it was the 30th that was Mischief Night. You go
Yeah.
out, it was all the mischief, and then the 31st you go out trick or treating.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we had a good time back then.
Mm. But now, at least, well, it sucks that there's no good horror movies in a very long time because you can't get your proper
One of
Halloween
those
on
things.
without
Horror
without
has
horror.
just been done to death, or
True, true.
Or just
There's not
TVs.
too many good horror movies, but I will give you a good recommendation called Over the Garden Wall. It's an animated series. It's like a 10-part miniseries.
Can't say I've ever heard of
Incredible
it.
music and incredible story. Like it's really cool, but it's also serialized. Like you have to watch like every episode. Voiced
Fair
by Elijah Wood, Tim Curry.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's incredible.
See, the thing
Christopher Lloyd.
The thing I think now, what keeps Halloween alive and the horror as a big celebration, even all over Halloween and the whole time of the year, isn't the movies or anything anymore. It's the games. Gaming has overtaken because there's so much horror games, horror survival, just
Mhm.
anything to do with gore and horror and
Oh,
anything
that's so
scary as
true.
Halloween is all on gaming now. That is where the good horror is because no good movies have been out in so long. The gaming has taken over it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you make it a fine point as well, like some other things as well, including a certain sickness has killed off in-person Halloween.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a bit I mean, you could say it's a bit how you're doing, but
Yeah.
I suppose gaming is kind of where it's at. I mean, because seriously, who reads horror? Horror novels and stuff.
Oh, I still like some good horror
Yeah, some
stuff.
people still do believe it.
I haven't really came across anything all that. The last, I guess, if you can say horror type of book that I've actually read was Coraline, but that was maybe 7 years ago. That was a creepy book, man. You remember Coraline, right? They made a movie about it.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
what do you guys
Oh,
think
that was
about?
spooky as hell.
Yeah,
But I
what do you
loved
guys
it.
also think about the other cultural depictions? Like, there's a Dia de los Muertos, which I will always forever call Mexican Halloween.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah, Day of the Dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, El Dia de los Muertos.
The Day for Stifio.
Yeah, right on.
Like I said, if you want to appropriate it by having, tacos for dinner and all that other stuff, but I
Never had one in my life.
Never had a taco in your life.
Nope. Never had a burrito either.
Well, you could say you're missing out, but
It's just not popular stuff around here.
No. But I imagine it's something you can whip up at home. Of course.
Probably, if I could be
Yeah, it's
bothered.
not so bad because I mean we have a good few Mexican joints down here too. So
Oh, nice.
So I think that's the thing. Like, there is Mexican places around England, just not. Well, as far as I'm aware, not many of them. It's just not something that I've gone looking for.
yeah.
That's fair.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure you got other kinds of good like foods and stuff around. Oh, I just want to highlight a comment here.
from
Yeah, from
Ali.
Ali. She says, "All hail the kings of Halloween, Vera and Stipe." Yeah,
Yes.
we rock.
Damn right.
Right on.
All right. So we're going to move on to the start of what we have. Let's take a look. It's been 2 years to the clock, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Ever since this whole, artificial sickness has engulfed the world. Well, engineered sickness has engulfed the world, and
Ever since I
where
got paid time off work.
it has, yeah. Well, it's given us a few months of work at least, inconvenienced a lot of people,
Mm.
and made certain things inaccessible. But at the end of the day, you know what? The people who are responsible for pushing through all of these and keeping you in had the nerve to ask for amnesty. And
Yes, this was the article from The Atlantic. And basically, their premise was, oh, we're so sorry for all of the bad things that happened to you during the pandemic, things that we caused, but please forgive us.
Oh, lovely.
I'm sorry, what? Um, Back in April of 2020,
yeah,
my grandmother died, and
Yeah.
I couldn't go to her funeral because funeral homes were closed. In fact, we didn't even have a funeral. We had to put her body on ice, and my family didn't want that. We ended up cremating her. So instead of being buried next to her husband, she is currently ashes in an urn. And there is no way on earth that I'm going to forgive these people for doing
Ah.
that to my family. Fuck them.
And so there is no forgiveness for things like that.
No,
no,
it's impossible. I can't even. Like, how dare you even say this? I couldn't go and see my grandmother in the hospital when she was dying of cancer. Nope, because they had a limit or whatever. It's crazy. And now they want forgiveness. Let's see what this article says.
yeah. Well, in the start of it, they've they were all like, how, like, we didn't know. Oh, what just happened? And that's kind of like what it was, right? Like
Oh, they
when
knew.
people hit, yeah,
They knew. Come
yeah,
on.
they all knew, of course. Come on, yeah, let's be real here. They knew. And they just wanted to keep pushing it in. Social distancing.
Yep, they wanted that control.
Yeah,
And now they're saying, "Oh, please forgive us for everything we did to you. Sorry, we totally tanked the economy." Yeah. What?
Wait,
Yeah,
is this a news organization saying this, or
yeah, the Atlantic.
yes.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's the
hell.
Atlantic.
I know, right? Isn't that nuts? They
That's-
want amnesty for this? Okay, well, instead of my grandmother being buried next to her husband like she wanted, we had to cremate her because funeral homes were closed. They were deemed non-essential. Bullshit. Non-essential. Are you kidding me?
I don't know how you can deem that non-essential, but still let
I
people have
yeah, they
weddings.
did though. They said, "How dare you have a gathering of more than 5 people?" Oh, can't do that because of the COVIDs. Fuck you.
Well, don't
So,
forget,
like-
you had politicians and really rich people turning around and having like parties. What?
Hmm.
Tons of people. And it was fucking
Well,
nuts.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was politicians too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
they
they all
literally
were.
went to like famous like restaurants and crap,
What was
and
it?
they're like, "Oh, non-essential businesses." I'm like, "Yo, you're spending $200 on a steak? Like, are you kidding me?"
Yeah. And they
What the heck?
still let people have weddings. I'm sorry, but you can delay a wedding. You can't delay saying goodbye.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly right.
It was a tough choice, man. Like,
Mm.
because literally all funeral homes were closed. There were no burials. There's no grave. There's nothing. And she wanted to be buried next to her husband, but and this is a personal story, but this story is not unique. A lot of people went through this. A lot of us did because of the crazy ass lockdown policies that went down during the whole COVID times. It's nuts. And now oh, I'm so sorry that we did all this, but it's okay. You can forgive us, right?
No.
No.
Read this. Oh, we have to put these fights aside and declare a pandemic amnesty.
Oh,
Bullshit.
we can leave out the willful purveyors of actual misinformation while forgiving the hard calls that people had no choice but to make with imperfect knowledge.
Bruh.
No choice.
No choice. Imperfect
Wow.
knowledge.
If it was imperfect knowledge, then don't do it until it's
If it was imperfect
factual.
knowledge, then don't take the fucking death shot.
Exactly.
I mean, I've seen. I'm sure you guys have seen this too, of like older people in like nursing homes and stuff, and they're just like pressed up against the window, and people are like, visiting them, showing pictures, and the people behind the glass, they're just like, "Oh, hello, my nephew. How are you doing today?" But like, you couldn't even go in the building. That is so depressing. And they want forgiveness for that? No. No, not no. Sorry, I can't.
Nah.
No.
Same with like in hospitals and stuff, people giving birth, they wouldn't allow the father in because no, it's too
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah,
Well, that's
good
crucial.
point.
That's a crucial
Exactly.
part of seeing their child come into this world that you have forced them to miss out on.
Yep.
But no, it's just a misunderstanding. Forgive us.
Oh,
We've
it's fine. Oh, whatever. Please forgive us for all the things that we did to humanity over the last 2 years. It's fine.
Noble?
No way. Yo, if my wife was giving birth to my
Yeah.
child, yeah, damn no, I'm gonna be there. But they didn't even
Same.
allow that.
Noble,
Crazy.
you want to add something?
Unfortunately, I think I've forgotten.
What a shame. Isn't it the same convenience as forgotten? Oh, we totally forgot about all that stuff that happened in the past 2 years.
Oh, right. Sorry. It seems familiar to me, this kind of banter. I came across a YouTube video that pointed out some of the advertisement that's been going on lately, and this story sort of hits a nail for it, where it's not actual true or sincere what the article is about or what the advertisement's about. It's just to try to trigger people into a response. That's all
No,
it is.
they're actually desperate and begging because the COVID is over party is happening right now. Who seriously wears masks outside these days?
Yeah, right. Well, no, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it is obviously just to get attention, to garner clicks and likes and
Yeah.
views. Like
And
that's what the
also,
media does nowadays.
having the nerve that says, "Oh, we please save our asses before our heads roll off the fucking get kicked around like soccer balls."
Yeah, literally.
But the fact that they actually have to say, "Oh, please forgive all of this," no. How could we possibly do that when they destroyed the world? I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it. We had my grandma's ashes in an urn right now because of people like this. So fuck you. Like, I don't even care. Amnesty. Yeah, right. It's hurt a lot of people, and not only just in America, but across the entire world.
Yeah,
Flights have shut down. Like, you couldn't even visit another country
As
because
I was
airlines.
going to say before, we still have a fair few people that wearing masks in the state that I'm in. We also have had the news has also been pointing out that there's a few more variants floating around, and we may end up having to go into lockdown again because tourists are starting to come back.
But my vaccine is gonna protect me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They totally flip-flopped on that too.
Anyone who knows what a fucking vaccine is, they find that statement complete bullshit.
Yep.
Vaccines don't protect; they just train your body to fight the viral infection. Fucking hell!
It's so funny because, like,
So stupid.
Fauci was saying, "Oh, if you have the vaccine, you'll be fine." But he also said, "Oh, if you actually have the virus, then you're going to be immune, and then after that, you're fine." Yeah,
Hmm.
totally flip flopped on all that stuff.
Yeah, it's always been
Completely.
back and forth with everything, and then every single time they release a vaccine, it mutates. You
Yep.
can't
Yeah,
keep.
it's a never-ending thing.
Oh, exactly. Just
Like
because
it's
there's
like
something bad happening, you cannot rush something like a vaccine.
it's like oh fuck, oh it's like
No,
oh
it's
fuck, COVID, guys, it's like oh fuck, COVID's gonna end. Shit, go back to the lab and make a new variant.
no, it's literally like experimental drugs, like the whole jab thing.
Yeah, that.
They literally just brought this out like less than a year later,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been causing blood clots and like sudden adult death syndrome.
Avera, SARS has been around since what?
Not SARS, SAD.
2002.
No,
Sudden
SADS.
adult death syndrome, not the
Like people getting
respiratory
blood
virus.
clots and dying from vaccines. Like they took the jab and like a week later they just dropped dead. That's happened a lot.
Well, I had all 4 shots because of fucking work, and I haven't. To be honest, the
Sucks.
worst I got was a bit of pain on the second jab, and that was it.
Well, thank God you're still alive.
Everyone else got the damn shot, and they're all still alive and kicking.
Neville, take some. Go
Yeah,
up
like I
and get
said,
some pine needle teas.
The SARS virus has been around since
Not
2002.
SARS.
It wasn't sexually attractive enough to turn around and figure out how to stop it. So now, when 2020 kicked off, well, we've got that problem.
Yeah, the SARS. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with the SARS and the.
There's a lot of
corona
other
thing.
things out there that are causing problems as well with viruses, but because it's not sexually attractive enough for people to invest in, figuring out how to stop it, something else is going to kick up later on. I mean, shit, we had the Black Death once upon a time.
Mhm.
Something else is going to come
Yep.
along. And what was it? The
Horse flu. Yeah,
what we
swine
call
flu.
the Spanish flu. I mean, that was a fucking big ass problem. But the flu is nothing really to worry about anymore. And then we had the what was it?
Oh, the
swine.
Spanish flu was, yeah, that was totally fucked.
Yeah, you sit there and listen about stories of people literally coughing up blood and mucus in the streets. You're like, ugh.
hmm
You can't imagine what that would be like today.
Well, I don't know.
Now it's just like an artificial coof, and it's like it's a virus of the mind. You know?
Yeah, well,
Speaking
unfortunately, the fear generally kills more people than the actual virus.
yeah, and that's pretty much
Oh,
what the
yes, that's
big
true.
COVID thing is.
Like if you had heart problems, you weren't even allowed to go to hospitals at all. Like they were shut down because if you don't have the COVIDs, you have to get some surgery. Well, they're just going to deny you.
One of the biggest issues we had, especially in Australia, is that a lot of medical staff, whether you're doctors, nurses, an orderly, a GP, if you refuse to have the vaccine, you were basically terminated. Schools had that sort of issue. A couple of years later now, we've got issues where there's not enough teachers, there's not enough medical staff. GPs are basically, well, let's just say there's enough holes that makes it look like a Swiss cheese.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, live comment here. 2 more. We'll wrap up this thing with a few live comments. Ali, I bet the pro-COVID vaxxers feel pretty dumb like now. Oh, they still do. They still will carry this on for as long as until they themselves die. But if you want to
Yeah.
get them to feel even dumber, you can always just say to them, "I hope you get vaccinated."
Oh yeah, turn that shit back. Totally.
Maybe maybe you know what the heck is inside of it, and now your blood is gonna turn into shit.
Now, I don't know if this is a rumor or not, or maybe if it's overblown, but I have seen many reports about like sperm banks that are accepting unvaxxed sperm at like a higher price.
What?
And even blood banks too. Like if you want to go donate blood, they're like, oh well, you're a pure blood, like you haven't been vaxxed yet. So
Yeah,
Vera,
I
are
think
these
that would be a real
privatized?
commodity.
is that true?
Vera, have you seen any of the names of the actual places doing this? or is this just
I've
rumors?
seen this like reported on the news. So whether or not those are reputable sources, I'm not entirely sure. But I have seen a lot of stuff about that. Like if you're unvaxxed, like if you're a pureblood, like people will pay more money for your blood donations.
Because
That's
I
what I've
don't
seen.
know how the US medical system works in regards to blood donations. Are they private or is it all public? Those donation centers.
Um, I would reckon that they're more private, like private companies doing this.
Okay, so at which point that would be a selling point for, well,
Yeah.
you know,
Like
But is it
covered
though?
insurance.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe not so much covered, but you know what? But maybe so because the fact is people are demanding unvaccinated blood and sperm,
Hmm.
and and because unvaccinated people are the commodity, then yes, the prices will skyrocket based purely on the law of supply and demand.
Yep. That's what I've seen here.
Simple economics. But yes, but at the end of the day, you know what? If things go worse though, there's always the black market.
Oh God. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
So what you're saying is I could be rich.
Well, no. What you're saying is, hey, want some unvaccinated blood? Want some unvaccinated sperm?
Well, I can tap it straight from the source. I'll just stick a needle in my arm.
Oh goodness gracious. Oh no.
I could
I
be rich.
prefer if we didn't actually make a joke about that, considering there are some people with really rare blood types to the point where if people found out that they were of that blood type, well, let's just say they might just disappear.
I don't even know what blood
Well,
type
no,
I
I
am.
wouldn't worry. I think for us, for people that were unvaccinated,
I'm not referring to
starting.
vaccinated type of people,
Yeah,
neither. I'm talking
but
about
the
actual
fact of the
blood
matter
types.
is, it actually is a very, very good lucrative venture for the unvaccinated who need an under the table, dealings, which may be, the norm going ahead. Let's be real, you know, in this whole fucking COVID economy, and maybe an under the table system might be your way to go.
Yeah.
Who needs Bitcoin?
Just sell your blood for thousands of dollars. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
You can always make more.
Give
Oh
me a couple
goodness.
of weeks. I'll be the new Elon Musk.
Oh my goodness.
And one last thing from Ali, just to wrap up this segment in 3 minutes. Since a lot of idiots are understanding now, maybe Furcons will get rid of the COVID restrictions now. I don't
I
forgive them
hope
though.
so.
With
I
that,
really hope so, Ali. Please. I hope they do.
with that comment, I have to point out that as long as it's just self-imposed, then yes. If it's put in by state regulators, then unfortunately, I have to follow it.
Yeah, which a lot of
Yeah.
the places still are.
Like state, state overreach and all that, like based
Yeah.
on that sort of thing.
Don't
yeah,
blame an organization or group or whatever if they're following regulations with the location they're based at. If this is self-imposed, by all means, tear them a new one.
yeah,
Well,
that
yeah, I
doesn't
mean, like
go broke.
when it comes to like state laws and stuff like that, like if like the governor announces a state of emergency,
Like a
says,
state, like
"Hey, you have to
a
do this,"
mandate. Yeah, like
right?
a statewide mandate.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
But
yeah,
So-
now I'm pretty sure every single state, at least here in the United States, they've stopped doing that. Like you don't have to wear a mask. Like you don't have to be jabbed in order to go to some event. As far as I'm aware, I don't think that they still actually do that. But it seems like furrycons don't really care and they're still trying to do
well,
it.
let's see what 2023 brings. Like first off, well, when we see if the Midwest Fur Fest becomes a train wreck, like it always will,
Oh yeah.
let's see what 2023 brings in the in the public sphere. So let's wait on that.
Mhm.
Now, the next set of items that we've got, well, we're going to the namesake of this show. So, who here has heard of The Witcher?
I have indeed.
Oh yeah, of course we all have.
I thought the TV show was boring, so I just stepped away and stopped watching.
Yeah. How many of you know the story was based off of a book?
I do. Very much
Yes.
indeed.
Did
Yeah,
not.
I know that.
Hmm. Yeah, written by the Polish Andrzej Sapkowski, and also, how many of you know The Witcher is a well-running game series?
Yep.
I've
Played
seen
Witcher
some
3.
videos on YouTube about it, but I haven't actually played the game, so I'm not entirely all familiar with the game.
I
Mm,
was only familiar with the game myself.
yeah, I mean, I
Nice.
played the games a bit, in the TV show, but it's been a bit weak for The Witcher. So, like, suffice it to say, like, if they've announced to start with a total remake of the first Witcher game, which started the whole big blow up, and then the first Witcher game, it made The Witcher just super popular all of a sudden.
Wait, hang on. They're remaking the original?
Yeah, The Witcher One, the one that came
What are
out.
they going to do? Make it woke?
Oh,
Um,
please no! I hope not.
I don't
The
know.
only bad guys are
Granted,
white.
granted, the state of CD Projekt Red is a bit how you doing,
Well, it's in the
but
name.
yeah, yes, but the thing, yeah. But what started all like it's something that's gonna get a total remake because the first Witcher is, let's face it, didn't age so well because of janky mechanics and stuff like that.
Well,
But
let's see what this article says. It says we are thrilled to announce that the Witcher remake is being worked on. That's right. The game that started it all is being rebuilt from the ground up. Unreal Engine number 5.
yeah,
Oh, what does
now
that mean?
now that means it's implying that they're gonna build like a total remake while preserving a lot of the core gameplay elements and trying to address some of the stuff that didn't age too well.
Yeah,
Like,
and
things like the combat.
yeah. That's the
Oh.
thing, like Unreal Engine 5 and stuff. I'm certain that's one of the more later ones that most games are all made through.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's just a full-on up-to-date game, graphic-wise, gameplay-wise, everything how you control it. But then the issue that it arises is it a remake or a remaster?
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
that's difficult to
yeah.
say.
Mhm.
Graphically, Witcher One was actually alright for its time in 2007. PC when the PC and Xbox 360 were around, it actually was pretty good by those standards.
Crazy to think that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, and it started off this whole Witcher craze, and and from there it spawned another two Witcher games, and eventually the TV series.
Yep.
See, it says the game is currently in the early stages of development at the Polish studio Fool's Theory, where Witcher's series staff are involved. We, as CD Projekt Red, are providing full creative supervision. So
Yeah.
hopefully this studio does well.
Yeah.
If they want to remake this and make it actually a proper game in the modern age, we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, like and they said, they have full trust because the studio, has a lot of the source material well, and and there's a lot from the first game itself, from the original that you can draw from. Granted, there's a lot of stuff in the first game that's just it's just so out there. It had gambling. You could actually.
Oh, goodness,
Yeah.
can't have that now, can
Yeah,
we?
well,
In a game. Oh
you're
no.
playing dice poker. You could actually collect cards. When every single time you slept with a woman in the game.
I honestly, I don't see what's wrong with that. Like, if you're
Yeah.
playing a freaking game and there's gambling involved,
And
and
and the guy's
yeah,
a man whore who.
yeah, whatever. Like, you sleep with the local whores or whatever. Like, if that's in the reality of like that universe, then okay, it's
Mhm.
just make believe. You're literally just pressing buttons
Well,
and
exactly.
sitting at a computer, right? Like, come on.
It's an old timey set fantasy game. The whole
Yeah,
point,
yeah, I know.
old time and fantasy. Not means you can go out, see some woman, and expect her to slip you a card and fuck you. No, no one's gonna think that just from playing a fucking game.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Totally.
It's literally just a game. Like, that's all it is.
I unfortunately have to say that yes, there are people out there that think that.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
And you're not wrong, Noble. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but yeah, you're right. There are people literally who will be offended by this somehow. They'll
But,
find something.
Oh, there's
yeah.
always something.
Speaking of remaking stuff, though, so Cypher, you played some of The Witcher 3, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that you can take from there. Like, the combat was kind of really just smooth and fluid.
Hmm.
But granted, I survived. I slogged through The Witcher 1. I was a bit iffy about Witcher 2 combat. I was like, I should probably try that again. But Witcher 3 was just so fluid and smooth. And that's pretty much
Yeah,
where it's,
it was
I
a
would say it's
really
still
well
there.
handled game.
Yeah, but now with Witcher 3, it's if they poured over the combat to that way, and
Well, essentially, what this should be, now that it's coming out, like now / in the future kind of thing, it's being made now. It
Yeah.
should be better than Witcher 3.
yes,
The same storyline as the beginning of it, but better. Especially with all these 4K, 8K TVs and stuff
and
that are all out
RTX.
on these new consoles and everything.
Yeah,
From what I've seen, the graphics look just a tad bit more updated.
yes,
And I think that that's really where like all of their money and or effort actually went into, not necessarily the storyline. You know,
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, because it's
and we've
not
seen this a lot with video game reboots or like
Yeah,
sequels and whatnot.
again, like the source material is the book called The Witcher, like
Yep.
a novel series.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, granted, the game is kind of what it is, and even the creator himself, Andrzej Sapkowski, expressed his distaste for the Witcher video games, like saying it made the Witcher popular as a whole, and it spawned a generation of gamers who love it. But he just lamented it didn't spawn a generation of novel, book lovers.
Well,
You know what I'm
it
saying?
won't, because it's like that's what we're kind of in now is
Yeah.
the whole generation of everything is digital,
Yes.
everything is gaming.
And now, we're spawning a generation of people who will know The Witcher from the TV series,
Hmm.
right? It's like, it's an evolving thing.
Well, exactly. Everything evolves with time,
Mhm.
but sometimes it evolves in the wrong way when the people
Yes.
behind it decide to diverge a bit too much.
Yeah, and
It's
that's where
extremely difficult to like make like a movie or a TV show about a video game. It's very hard to do that.
let alone a book. It's
Oh yeah, of course, the adaptation on an adaptation to make a new adaptation
Yeah,
for like a
exactly.
movie or cinema.
Exactly. But instead of doing that, the need to go straight from the original source and straight to the book, because the book is literally the script. You've got it there. Just write it out in a format of a script.
it's there. It's the characters. It's the world. It's everything.
It's what they say. It's what they do. It describes what you want to set the scene as.
Right, and I gotta say, man, like I think Peter Jackson completely nailed it when the Lord of the Rings series. Those 3 movies. He's a fan of Tolkien. He made those movies, and they were absolutely incredible, like
Right.
top notch. And it's very hard to do something like that. Even like with the Harry Potter books too. I think that was a success because like they completely nailed it. And obviously, they couldn't incorporate everything, but because they're too long, like as you're reading it, it's a different experience than actually watching it in a movie.
But now, the
And
thing
how do you think The Witcher is going to do this? Like when it comes to a video game adaptation, and you're being involved, like you're literally playing a character in this game.
And then from there, now the generation is they're making that said thing into a TV series after it
Right.
from both the video game and or the book.
Exactly,
It's an
especially when
adaptation of an adaptation. Yes.
yeah, and the thing that makes it the bigger issue is books are linear. It's got the start to finish. There's no diverging. There's no choices. Whereas video games, because people don't tend to fully like, oh, I'll play the game, go through it, I'm done. There's no point playing it again because I know what happens. I know the storyline. Everyone likes RPGs, so you can go around and do what you want.
Make
But then when you
choices
try,
and
yeah,
and change
make
the
your own
storyline.
choices. Do this, do
Mhm.
that. Your choices make
Yeah.
a difference to the storyline. You chose this, well, now this is going to happen. But then when you try to base something else off of that, that's when it goes wrong.
Right.
Because a TV series or a movie is linear. So you need to go back to something that was linear. Do not base it off of the free roaming game. Go back to the fucking book.
Yeah. And with the TV series, we're going to move to that. There's been a lot of happening in the TV series because now, at the end of the third season, well, Henry Cavill, the star of The Witcher, as Geralt of Rivia, has departed the show,
Yep.
and fans are not happy.
Well, the title alone kind of says it all. What the heck is happening with The Witcher? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, like the star Henry Cavill has announced his resignation, and he's not going to be playing Geralt in season 4.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So instead, his stand-in is going to be Liam Hemsworth.
Which no one seems to be happy about that at all.
Oh yeah, I saw that. On Twitter, Twitter exploded. They were
Well,
like
yeah.
so pissed.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I've seen it plenty of times, and that is because people always say the role was made for Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
He is him. That's the thing. He like no one else can possibly step foot into that role, play it the same because Henry Cavill. Like from what I heard, he loves the books. He loves the game, so he put his heart and soul into it.
I know. Yeah, he totally did. Let's see this comment right here from someone named Ariel. It's Henry Cavill leaving The Witcher after begging Netflix for the role and being the biggest fan of the franchise, making the report that the writers hate books seem to be more plausible. Now, they chased that man away from the series. This is sick. So yeah, I guess he probably saw what was going on here, and he's like, you're totally not loyal to the actual lore, like the actual content of the books, and I guess maybe he was a really big fan of it and he just didn't want to be a part of it.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's and that's basically the fault with the show writers, and they're not wrong to allege it. It's because now the current plague with these shows, you would think of it is like the show writers are either not fans or actively hate the damn thing. Right?
And as an actor, like someone who is actually a fan of the content that they're going to be starring in, yeah, that would be a major disappointment.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like being a fan of like Star Wars and like being recruited to like be in some spin-off show that has nothing to do with Star Wars lore? Yeah, that would suck. I wouldn't want to do it either.
Yeah.
So I totally don't blame him.
And like you look at the current crop of TV shows and that have just been that have propped up recently. You've got Halo, you've got the Rings of Power,
Yeah.
you've got Resident
Oh
Evil,
God.
and they're all clusterfucks.
Yeah.
And again, it basically stems back to the writing team either hates this content or are not fans of it, and they just want to do their own thing and deviate from the source material.
Yeah, because it's an ego boost. They want to be like, "Oh, I'm such a good writer. I can do better. I can do this. I can do that." Well,
Or even
clearly
then,
you can't
maybe
because
not.
look how it's crashed.
Not even so much an ego boost, but rather injecting stuff into the new adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they do that, that completely goes against the lore of the original material. I mean,
So,
look
out of
at Rings of Power. They completely butchered that. They spat on the grave of Tolkien. I mean, come on.
Okay.
With the actor that's quitting, how popular was he with the fans up to this point?
Dude, he lots of people say that Henry Cavill is the show.
Oh,
Without
yeah.
Henry Cavill, The Witcher is just going to flop.
So, in other words, they pissed off the literal gold mine.
The
they
face of it
had.
all.
And
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Geralt of Rivia is the head character of The Witcher.
hmm
Wow.
And everyone says literally like Henry Cavill is Geralt in person. He was made for the role, basically. So the show without him is not going to go far.
And that does make a lot of sense. Like when audience, views this, they see him as that character, and
Well,
like
exactly.
that's you. Like this is that person I identify. Like I understand it. And then if they try to just switch it out because of some reasons, people are not going to want to watch it anymore.
hmm
They're just gonna tune out.
Right. And then they'll just go back to the original game, the original books and the
Yep.
games.
Yeah, exactly.
even-
Yeah, they're gonna
and
go
even
back to the
forward-
media.
Yeah, they'll even probably look forward to the Witcher 1 game remake rather than the season 4 of the TV series.
Yeah,
Yep,
definitely.
exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. And there's a very big line that I want to say from this article, And this one here, this one sentence.
You have to
res-
respect
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Doesn't
That is
sound
so true.
like-
So true.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very true. But who was saying that? It's like DeMeo was one of the writers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's like, how can you say that if you're not respecting the legacy? You're just adding to something. If you're saying, "Oh, we don't want to go with the books, we don't like them that much," then you're not respecting anything. You're spitting on it and taking your own stride.
Yeah. The mayor is one of the writers for The Witcher, and was.
Also, he was, so he's not one of the ones that are trying to say, "Oh, well, I don't like the books, I don't want to write
Yeah,
it like
well,
that."
he's doing his level best, but now
Yeah.
the current crop of writers are just people out to make a buck, boost their egos, and inject all kinds of poison into our entertainment
Yeah.
in the hopes of trying to
Well, yeah, because it's been built up to something so big now. All these new writers and or whatever can come in and say, "Well, I've got my name on this. I was part of such a big show."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. So again, but all up though, in regards to this, what's your optimism about The Witcher at the moment? It's still, don't get me wrong, it is still a very strong franchise in a strong position. Like look at how much cash The Witcher 3 made. It's
See,
best game of 2015. It was
well, that's the thing. The games will continue. The franchise will probably, now that they're remaking the first one, it's a whole new light lit under the games. They can make more and more and more and keep going.
yeah.
But the series will not go far.
No, especially not with a TV series being handled the way it has.
Exactly. So if anything, the series doing this, losing the lead, doing something that no one likes anymore, is just going to bring even more of a light to the new game.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Like we would rather be playing the games than watching some cinematic adaptation of something run by these wackadoodles who don't actually care about the story. Yeah.
I thought people would have learnt this lesson from Dragon Ball Evolution, but
Yeah, you would think, right?
I mean, like, they could have even looked at something so recent as to what happens when you diverge too far from the original story or you try to take it under your own wing. Look at how Game of Thrones ended, and now look at where Witcher is going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not,
Yeah, Game of
and
Thrones.
I haven't really been super invested in Game of Thrones, but as far as my knowledge goes, that the last season, the writer himself was not actually involved in
No,
that
he was.
last season. He wasn't, right?
No,
And that's why it went to shit, right?
yeah, it's because the books that it was based on haven't
Yeah.
been wrote yet. So the people who were actually in charge and writ the whole season rushed so much into one season. There was this, that, and everything, and it was handled horrifically.
Yeah,
They
and that's why it was completely bonkers. You know,
Mhm.
like the dude who wrote the story, who made this world,
Yeah.
when he was not involved in this, and then other showrunners were like, "Oh, we can totally do it," and they just messed it all up.
Yeah, look what happened. I'm pretty sure George R. Martin even said himself he
Yeah,
was
he was pissed.
he was furious. He did not like it.
Yeah,
I mean, look at online. There's petitions and that everywhere saying to rewrite season 8, redo it. It was horrible. Redo it.
oh yeah, you're right. I saw a bunch of stuff about that. People are saying like, "Oh, please redo the season." And I even saw some fans saying that season 8 is like not canon, and like they just refuse to believe it. Some weird stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, technically, it isn't canon because it's not the books that it's supposed to be based on haven't been written. So it's all
Right.
Yeah.
when the books are finished. Well, then there you go. There's what should have happened.
And now,
Mhm.
Game of Thrones has the House of the Dragon.
And that is totally kicking Rings of Power's ass right now. Rings of Power, that debacle is a complete failure. But
Mm.
the new House of Dragon, my goodness, I think they got like twice the amount of viewers that the other show got. I mean, it's incredible.
That just goes to show how much people are still eager for something for Game of Thrones. Make it
Oh
good.
yeah, of course, absolutely. Like
Look at The
I
Witcher.
am. Hell, I haven't been super invested in this, but when I saw like the first episode that was free on YouTube, I watched it and I was like, "Oh man, that's actually really good."
Mm-hmm. And that's
Oh yeah,
that's exactly what the Game of Thrones fans wanted. They're finally
yeah,
getting something they've been eager for so long. Forget the ending. We have this now.
Mhm.
Well, why did Witcher not learn from that? Why did they not see what happened? How anything to do with the Game of Thrones story had to backpedal so hard into House of the Dragon now?
I think
And
it's because
still thought it
the
was
writers and directors of whoever created this new franchise, the House of Dragon, they actually care about the lore,
exactly.
the mythology. Like they
Mhm.
want to develop these characters and make them more relatable and interesting. They actually hired good writers to do this,
Exactly.
and
That's why.
they didn't do that with Rings of Power. They were just literally pandering off like the backs of Tolkien and Peter Jackson, and it just didn't work. And then when I watch Rings of Power in comparison to House of the Dragon, it's night and day. Like it's incredible.
Well, that's exactly the crucial point, especially with what's happening with The Witcher. It goes to show the divide between when it's people who are fans and adore it, who
Mhm.
write for it and are behind it, because they know what fans want because they are fans, compared to when people who take over who think they know what's best and what people want.
Oh,
This is
totally.
why the biggest mistake they could have ever made is to piss off Henry Cavill enough to where he said, "I'm done."
Yeah, I don't blame him. I really don't. He saw what was going on, and he's like, "Man, you know what? This is not for me." So yeah, I get that. Hope maybe they'll find another actor who's willing to like
Liam
pander
Hemsworth.
and crap, but
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
Hemsworth in it, and I don't see how it's going to go forward with him. I just don't.
I don't think so. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah. Well, there's one more thing, like while we're still sticking on the same ball as as with TV series and the same tangent about how things are written, but we're gonna go with another another adaptation. Well,
All right.
it's Hercules.
Oh, here we go. So live action Hercules will be experimental, inspired by TikTok. How are they going to be inspired by TikTok?
Don't
Let's
we
see.
have like a show? Don't we have like a cartoon that was, the I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the thing of Cusco or something.
Ah, Cusco. Yes,
That one.
Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco.
It's just Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, that
Ah,
one. Emperor's New Groove. That was the one I was thinking of. I just
I
couldn't get
loved
the name
that.
in my head.
Yeah. As soon as you mentioned Cusco, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
it's in
I
my head.
knew
It's
it
there.
was.
What is it?
I knew it was that one. It was just didn't know the exact name off the top of my head.
That's probably like
and
base-
they want to do a live action of this
Yeah,
movie.
Hercules. Like
live action and inspired by TikTok. So it's going to be a bunch of cringy assholes no one wants to see lip
I
syncing to the original fucking cartoon.
And
I
they're
have
like
to wonder if
basically,
Cena is going to make an appearance.
Man, I swear, if Hercules starts twerking or something
Oh.
like that, like he flosses, I'm just gonna tune out.
Guarantee it'll happen. Guarantee it.
I know, because it's TikTok, right? Like, of course. Oh, he's gonna do that stupid crap. Oh goodness.
It said somewhere here, yeah, there in the quote, at the bottom of the page, audiences today have been trained by TikTok, right? I can't see the rest.
all right.
So,
So that's not
what
fair.
is their expectation of what that musicals look like and feels like? No. Just because people see people fucking around on TikTok does not mean they're trained to expect that out of a musical.
Is this what the modern audience of moviegoers is like? They think. Is it like?
Why can't they just leave this alone? What
it
the
the-
heck?
Is the modern audience, is the modern cinema goer somebody who's addicted to their phone and browsing through TikTok every single minute of their day?
Well, exactly. How can you go from a minute-long TikTok that is utterly stupid, pointless, fucking ridiculous, nothing original, anytime, to a full-length movie?
Seriously, have you not seen the Super Mario Brothers movie from back in the 90s?
Oh, of course we all did. That's hilarious. With the freaking dinosaurs and whatever. Yeah, that was bonkers. But this, though,
Start here. Have you not seen Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, I know exactly what you're on about. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? Though?
Yeah,
But the fact
but-
of the matter is, like, what do they mean by the modern audience?
Mm-hmm.
They mean social justice warrior woke shit.
Or people
yeah,
who are,
that's what they mean.
social
Precisely.
media addicts. People who spend all day on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You name
Here's
it.
a question: if they think this is going to succeed, how do they, keep someone's eyes on one screen when they're prone to I don't know, switching from screen to screen?
Yeah, like
Well, exactly, yeah.
fans.
Inspired by TikTok, so you're used to scrolling, not paying attention to one thing for more than a minute. So how are you going to turn that into a movie?
Two screens at once, like swipe this, and then somebody makes
You've heard it here. They're going
The people in the cinema trying to swipe the screen at the front of the bloody room.
gonna get a new job for the bloody cinema people. They're gonna have the screen attached to wires, and they're gonna have to swing around the entire fucking theater.
Goodness gracious.
Follow the screen. Follow the screen. There you go. You're interested now.
Yeah, totally. That's crazy.
It's just gonna go horrific. And the worst part is to say about the modern audience that's gonna want to watch it. I'm sorry, but anyone who's going to want to rewatch Hercules in a modern, well, just now as a live action remake, is the people who originally watched it, not
Yeah,
the
man.
modern audience of kids nowadays. They don't care. They're not going to want to see it.
Yo, I haven't seen Hercules since I was 9 years old. I think I might have seen the movie once, and it was pretty good. I loved Hades. He was an awesome character.
Are you thinking this might go down the path of Looney Tunes live action or something?
Oh,
I don't know, man. I really don't know. it's probably going to be full of all these kinds of political agendas. Like
I don't
that's
know. Or
probably
a lot of
what's going to
cringy,
happen.
yeah, maybe a lot of cringy musical numbers.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
super
no
cringe
doubt.
crap.
It's like
And yeah,
musicals were bad enough as it is, but now
No,
they're going.
well, not all, not all.
To me, they were. I'm not a big fan of musicals. I like Sweeney Todd. That was a good one. With Johnny Depp in it. I like that.
I do like some musicals when they have like, for example, like Little Shop of Horrors, incredible.
Yeah.
Like I
Mhm.
love that crap. But when it comes to like Hercules, a live action, I mean, how are they gonna do that? I pray that they don't make Hercules some kind of like trans black woman, because
Well, of
they
course.
probably will.
Vera, I think the more modern approach would be trans-indigenous.
Ah,
you
of
know, what
course,
about
yes.
well, we was Greeks and shit.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna do something stupid like that, right? Of course,
Oh yeah.
because of mud diversities or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
mess-
goodness.
Now, and that's not speaking about the rest of the live action stuff, because if you go through Greek mythology, there's a lot of mythological creatures that in the Greek mythos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What are they gonna do with Hades?
Well,
Because in
exactly.
the animated version, Hades was freaking cool.
Mm-hmm. There's so much that they could do with Greek mythology.
Oh, there's
But
so
they
much they could do.
don't
Yeah, for sure. But I
fucking-
really hope they actually do it properly.
They won't. There's no way you can do anything properly when you tag on inspired by TikTok.
Yeah, good point. Inspired by TikTok, inspired by like that woke politic bullshit. Yeah, you're totally right, man. You nailed it.
Have you
The
seen?
thing I'm
the
wondering
people-
though is how much influence is China going to have on all of this? Because, well, where do you think TikTok came from?
Well, exactly.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, when it comes to that, I honestly I think that China is probably going to ban this movie in their country.
I'm surprised
Is
they didn't
not.
They
ban
have
it
done
like
that
2020.
before.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
just-
think they're probably going to ban it because it has to deal with spirituality and different like aspects of the afterlife, and China will absolutely ban something like that, especially if, let's say, if the production company in the United States wants to promote like this, gay agenda or whatever. China is not going to accept that, and
Oh, no,
they're going to ban it, as they have with many other movies before.
And Disney is still trying to suck up China.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're trying, but you can't really negotiate with communists.
No,
so
it's not that, because they have a conflict of values. Well, the cultural barrier.
and
Chinese
also
values-
commies, but yeah.
Mhm. But anyway, that's kind of that though. So that's another way. Something is also circling down the Disney train. So yeah.
Vera, how long did you spend in the 1960s?
I'm not sure because I wasn't alive back in the 60s.
It's in reference to how you're talking.
What? Oh god, do I sound like a McCarthy
Commies.
era kind of person?
Yeah, sounds like the way you keep saying.
Yeah,
commies.
I know what you're referring to. Okay, all right, whatever, bro. But seriously, China is super crazy. Like, they actually did ban movies that were produced in America because they didn't like the fact that there were gay people in there, or black
Again,
people
like
were
I
like the protagonist. They totally banned those movies.
I
So
mean,
it's just perplexing to me that China would actually do this again.
You've heard it here, folks. Avira would fit really well into the Fallout universe.
Yo, if I was like born in the 1940s and grew up in the 50s, yo, that would be like my timeline for sure.
hmm
I mean,
But
say
also,
what-
China's kind of whack, so whatever.
say what you want though. But when you say China just did all that banning, I'm actually tempted to play devil's advocate for them. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would love to have this movie banned everywhere.
yeah, Yeah, if
Oh,
it's all
goodness.
gay shit, then yes, ban it everywhere.
Like, honestly, you cannot make a movie and tag it, say, inspired by TikTok. They are just words that will not go down well. Live action movies based on the old Disney anime has
Animations, yeah.
gone horrific already. So what makes them think, oh, let's do another one inspired by TikTok?
Yeah, Matt, don't you think that was like a weird thing to say? Like, what are you talking about? Inspired by TikTok?
Mhm.
Like, what? Those music videos by like people that post all that silly meme stuff?
Yeah.
How in the bonkers is a movie going to be inspired by TikTok? Like, that doesn't really make any sense, does it?
Avira, what if they have it in the same format as TikTok?
What? So you go to the movie theater and you see it for like 30 seconds and you leave?
No, no, no. I mean the actual video format.
Well, that would just be silly.
Really, silly.
Yeah, why
Um,
would they do that? That's messed up. What the heck?
considering some of the stupid shit that's been going on in the last, like, what, 4 years?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Do you really think they would not stoop to that level?
I don't know what the heck China's media is all about. I don't live there.
I'm referring to Disney and the
Yeah.
Hercules movie.
See,
Oh, okay.
what they're going to do with this one now is instead of going to the theaters and having a massive screen, you're going to sit down. There's going to be no screen there and just a cable in front of you where you plug your phone into, and you can just flick through all the songs in the movie.
Stifia, we're in the 21st century now. You have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth.
How's
Yeah,
Wi-Fi?
who goes to movie theaters anymore? Hell, I
Yeah,
haven't
who
in
does that
years.
anymore, eh?
I
Anyway,
could just watch it on Netflix or whatever.
I watched
Oh,
Sonic 2 at the cinema.
Yeah.
I watch the bad guys on the big screen.
I went to
Oh yeah, me too.
I went to the big screen for quite a few.
The
stuff.
last movie I saw was 1917. It was a World War One movie. That was before COVID happened. That was the
imagine
last
I-
movie I ever saw.
I imagine Stifio would be the type to go to the big screen to watch Black Adam.
Nah.
I heard that
Well,
was pretty good.
Both of the Venoms, almost all of the Marvel movies. I didn't go watch Thor. Didn't watch Black Widow. And it's like I'm very picky. I have to know it's going to be a movie that I want to spend this money on because it's so much more of an experience than just slapping something on Netflix.
Personally, I'm pissed off with what they did with the Black Widow movie. We have a character who was in pretty much like the early Marvel movies for the modern age,
Mm-hmm.
and they just slapped that out. Not to mention they really fucked with the actress too.
Yeah.
What the hell, Disney?
Yeah. All right. So, looks like we've reached the end of this week. It's been quite the trip, hasn't it? So,
Oh, for sure.
When does this LSD wear off?
I don't know.
Probably never.
It's in high supply.
Most of the shit that's going on just feels like a bad trip.
It's in the water supply.
Fucking hell.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
LSD in the water supply is turning the freaking frogs trans.
Exactly.
that's it.
And
So,
indigenous.
All right. So, who'd like to wrap up with closing statement?
Well, most of mine is based with The Witcher again. I just want to see how fast it's going to crash down because it looks like it's already crashed before it's even started. The games are going to come back into light again. And something I saw before is I remember Henry Cavill stepped away from being Superman to be in The Witcher more, but now he's back as Superman and he's left The Witcher. They've literally pushed him away and back into the DCEU.
What
It's
a
like-
shame.
Yeah, well, I like him as Superman. He's an alright Superman. But the fact that we're going to be missing him in The Witcher, it's not worth having him back as Superman to miss him as Geralt. It's
Understand.
going to be a train that's going to crash. and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Right. So, Noble?
Well, sorry, what was the first topic we had on today?
The COVID amnesty.
Right. That was a complete bullshit article. I'm sorry, but this just fucking whacked. And the
Well,
fact they
you could have
deleted
said
it,
that without the "I'm sorry" part.
Yeah.
There's The Witcher. I basically tuned out because I didn't like the TV show. I don't really game all that much. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 games that I
Or, you
play,
you
that's
didn't
about it.
could have invested in the TV series a bit more, maybe. I don't know.
The TV series just didn't interest me at all.
Fair enough, but yeah.
I don't know. It's just fucking whacked. And this
Yeah.
Hercules thing, it sounds like a train wreck, but the downside is if they're talking about it, it means it must be getting close to its release, at which point, okay, where's the popcorn?
Oh, yeah, it'll be happening, no doubt.
All right, Avira.
All right. Well, I hope everyone had a fantastic Halloween weekend. It really has been incredible. At least, like for me, I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I guess I'll see you next week.
All right.
Don't really have too much else to say about that except for The Witcher, but oh my goodness gracious, please get some good writers on board. Freaking please.
Save.
Oh
save
my
all the
goodness.
pop culture, please, with writers that actually care about the legacy and the source material.
So
Precisely.
I don't think the
Yeah.
writers can save it now because
Yeah, well-
nobody wants to see Liam Hemsworth in it. Not even the writers can save it now.
I hope everyone has an incredible night, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Later.
And as always, our episodes are available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Player.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. This is us signing off for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
Magic 8 Ball!
See ya.